After Fury defeated Wilder on October 9th and Usyk outpointed Joshua just a month before, there is no doubt who the top heavyweights are. Currently, we have the trio of Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk and Anthony Joshua as the three leading boxers in boxing's heavyweight division.
Knockout Fury.
Wilder would have been in this equation had he not lost in the fashion he did to Fury in their third encounter. With these three guys in the mix, who do you think will win if Fury agrees to an undisputed heavyweight championship fight with Usyk? If Joshua adapts to a new style, he can beat Usyk in a much anticipated rematch. What does Usyk think of AJ's search for a new trainer ahead of their potential rematch next year? These are questions in the minds of many boxing fans worldwide, and I will try to analyse them to know the chances of each fighter. Before I hit the ground running on this one, please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell. Now listen up guys, boxing is agog with many difficulties in making blockbuster fights these days, unlike what it used to be in the 80s and 90s. Back then, the best fought the best. Matches were made on the grounds of merit and not strictly for business. But those days are gone. With business investments coming above what the fans want to see, it's easier to go to the moon than to make the best fighters come up against each other. It's a shame for the sweet science, you know. From the positioning of things, no fighter deserves a shot at Tyson Fury than Oleksandr Usyk. Yes, let's check this out, guys. Usyk outclassed Joshua and is currently reigned as the WBA, IBF, WBO and IBO heavyweight champion of the world, and Fury is the WBC heavyweight champion, which means both men have their titles on the line if they fight. Not only that, both men are yet to taste defeats in their professional careers, which makes things more interesting. So a fight between the two will be a great matchup. Well, let's assume that these matches will be made as we all anticipate, but how will each fighter fare? Let's see what a rematch between Usyk and Joshua would look like. For each of the fights, I will go ahead and tell you what I think about them and predict the winner and why. I think Usyk will defeat Joshua in a rematch. Here's why. I have watched AJ grow from a 2012 Olympic heavyweight boxing gold medalist to a pro over the years. No doubt he is such a great champ. He is cool-headed, less of a trash talker, and all that, but his boxing ability has come under scrutiny after his loss to Andy Ruiz Jr. on June 1st, 2019. Aside from his power, his speed, chin, footwork, to be fair to him, are just average compared to the likes of Usyk and Fury.
AJ can't box. He's a big old wood on top like this here, looking for a big right hand and a left hook. He couldn't even do nothing with Joseph Parker, and he's a very, very, very poor man's Tyson Fury. No disrespect, Joseph.
Talk about stamina. He can't match Usyk or Fury. He gasses out in the later rounds of his fights, unlike Usyk, who dances around for the whole 12 rounds in all his fights. Watch Usyk versus Bello. Usyk showed tremendous stamina in that fight, outworked Bello before knocking him out in the 8th round.
Oleksandr Usyk, well, there's no one above 175, 168 that can match him, mate. He's in a league of his own. The only reason that boy will lose, as I'll say again, will be purely because of size and strength. That'll be the only thing that beats him, size. He started doing certain things to AJ where he was looking at everything that he does. He's like the fucking Matrix. The boy watches everything you do. He absorbs it in his brain and then he uses it against you. So he thinks you a certain way and sees which way you move, which way you pose, which way you're going to do. And this is why when I boxed him, people can't do it, because I set traps for him and got him to fall into the traps. It was only after 5 or 6 rounds that he realised that I was still setting to the same traps, and he understood what I was doing before to set the trap, and then he adjusted and accumulated to what I was doing. He's a genius in the boxing ring. Now with AJ, he's not that style of fighter.
Again, AJ fights flat-footed in most of his fights. You might argue that he is a heavy dude with heavy muscles here and there, but he is no heavier than Tyson Fury. Despite weighing over 270 pounds in his fight against Wilder, Fury almost floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
In all AJ's professional bouts, he has never faced a boxer who moves so quickly like Usyk. In their last fight, Usyk was everywhere and yet nowhere. But with his comeback over Ruiz Jr., AJ believes that he needs a few adjustments to regain his titles. He is currently in the United States scouting for a new trainer. He was recently filmed with notable trainers like Ronnie Shield, Virgil Hunter and Eddie Reynoso. But Usyk, in a recent interview, stated he does not care a hoot about who AJ hires as a new trainer. So on whether Joshua will defeat Usyk in a rematch, I don't see it happening. Bob Arum, Fury's promoter, shares a similar view. Some days ago in an interview with Fight Hub TV, he said, and I quote, "Listen, whatever new trainer he gets, he ain't gonna beat Oleksandr Usyk. Not now, not next year, never. Usyk is just too smart for him. Joshua is not gonna learn in 6 months what he never learned, how to fight a southpaw."
Listen, whatever option he takes, whatever new trainer he gets, he ain't gonna beat Oleksandr Usyk. Not now, not next year, never beat Usyk. Usyk is too smart for him. Usyk's a southpaw. Joshua is not going to learn in 6 months, but he never learned was how to fight a southpaw.
Do you think Joshua will ever stand with any of them men? You know, I'll tell you now, none of them men will even fight Wilder. Usyk won't fight Wilder, too dangerous. Joshua will definitely not go down that road.
Let's shift our focus to Usyk versus Fury. What does a unification fight between these two look like? Is it ever going to happen? What is happening at the WBC 59th Annual Convention is an indication that we might witness a unified bout between the WBC champion, Tyson Fury, and WBA, IBF, WBO and IBO heavyweight champion, Oleksandr Usyk. There was this anticipation that Dylan White would be made the official mandatory challenger for Fury's WBC belt, but it never happened.
So whatever's going to happen, will happen. And I don't care because they're all only workouts to me. I'll destroy every man that comes in front of me, as I've been doing my last fucking all my life. It doesn't matter if it's Dylan White, Dylan Blue or Dylan Grey. I don't care who it is.
So this new development clears things up if promoters want to give us a Fury versus Usyk match. Even Bob Arum of Sky Sports claimed that his fighter is focused on unifying the heavyweight division. But there is another tricky situation here. Joshua has activated the rematch clause to fight Usyk next year, making it difficult for Fury versus Usyk to happen anytime soon. But let's assume it's going to happen. Does Usyk stand a chance of beating Fury?
Come on, let's be honest about it. You know, and there'll always be somebody, won't there? Like I said to him the other day, there's always going to be a Usyk, and after him there'll be somebody else and somebody else. You can't go on forever with it all, you know. And he's beat the best man of his era 3 times in a row. He's fought the most dangerous man on the planet 3 times and beat him 3 times. What more can he do? And we all know, the public I'm on about, they think Usyk will do this, Usyk will do this. I'm telling you now, Usyk will do nothing with a man like him.
Well, if Fury stays in shape, Usyk will have a tough time fighting him. Although we all know the dude can be sleek, moves well and has speed, stamina and some excellent footwork from the southpaw stance, he can also slip in and out when fighting taller opponents, as we witnessed against Tony Bellew and Anthony Joshua. However, Fury is different from the likes of Joshua and Bellew. Fury is the bigger man with a longer reach, size advantage and does move his upper and lower body so well. He has an excellent jab and knows how to use his size to his advantage. Fury has also shown in recent years that he can take a punch. His recovery time is out of this world. With his longer reach, Fury would out-jab Usyk all night, time him coming with a sharp right and smoulder him on the ropes as he did with Wilder. Usyk might deploy options to fight Fury from the inside, attack his body and finish with a left hook, just like Frazier did to Ali in their first fight in 1971. But Usyk is no Frazier. Besides, the Frazier style, which is almost like the Mike Tyson peekaboo style, failed him when he squared up against the big George Foreman in January 1973. So what exactly can Usyk do? Well, I think he can experience minimal success if he jabs and moves quickly and creates a lot of angles to disrupt Fury's rhythm. Although Fury, with his experience, should be able to know that Usyk offers no other arsenal than lots of movement and angles. So he is expected to pressure Usyk from the first sound of the bell to detect the pace of the fight. Once this is done, it's a good night for Usyk. With that said, I will leave you guys to share your views in the comments section below. But before I sign off, please smash that subscribe button and notification bell, and if you like my videos, click on the like button. See you in the next video. Bye for now.